What's up, gamers, and welcome back to the We Run Amok channel. Today, we're going to be using a community-made Dead Matter character builder tool to create an ideal two-man squad for the closed alpha. Now, I'm sure a lot of you, like us, purchased the double barrel package and will be playing the alpha with a buddy, so we're hoping this video helps that crowd out specifically, and of course, anyone else who's interested in Dead Matter squad dynamics. Big shout out to Reddit user AM Delta for posting this builder tool on the Dead Matter Reddit page. If you'd like to use the builder tool yourself and try out some character models, we have that link posted on the description below. As a side note, before we get started, this tool, like Dead Matter itself, is a work in progress, and there are a few incorrect values that I'm sure will be corrected in due time, but more on that later in the video. So, getting right down to my character, I'm going to go with the farmer occupation. Fear will be explaining his character later on, but overall, we're going for a scout/support or hunter/gatherer dynamic for our two-man team. So as a farmer, we start out with +2 perk points to spend, and we also spawn with basic clothes and a small backpack with survival gear, which I think is a pretty cool starting condition. As we begin to play the alpha, we'll see how important starting gear is, but for now, I think it's a solid choice. Now, base stats for the farmer occupation look like this. For attributes, which are on a scale of 1 to 10, we have agility at 6, charisma at 6, endurance at 4, intelligence at 5, and strength at 6. For skills, which are on a scale of 0 to 100, we have cooking at 15, crafting at 25, farming at 50, lockpicking at 5, mechanic at 15, and medical at 15. Some of these values will change after my perks are selected, but I wanted to give you all the baseline farmer stats for reference. Moving on to the perks, I decided to select my negative perks first to max out my perk points more or less and spend them later on positive perks. Before I go into my perk choices, I do have to note that this is where there are a few value errors on the character builder. For Universal Receiver and Universal Donor, these are listed on the builder as being positive perks and subtracting 4 and 6 perk points respectively. However, these are actually listed in-game as negative perks and add 4 and 6 perk points respectively to your total. There's been a lot of confusion with the community on whether or not these two perks are negative and positive, so it's important to note that before I go into my build. For now, though, we'll avoid those perks for the sake of using the builder tool. So the first negative perk I chose was peanut allergy. This gives you a +4 perk points and triggers a severe allergic reaction when consuming foods containing peanuts. You do, however, spawn in with 1 EpiPen, so at least you get 1 free pass starting out. Most likely, I'll be selecting peanut allergy for nearly all my characters. It's an easy +4 perk points to add to your character, and I decided to make it a general rule to stay away from peanuts and Dead Matter for that reason. The second negative perk I chose is Fearful, which makes you take more suppression when under fire. We obviously don't know yet how debilitating the suppression effect will be in this game, but for now, I see it as another snap pick for all my characters and an easy +2 perk points. For my third negative perk, I selected Slow Metabolism. Another snap pick in my opinion, which makes you metabolize food 50% slower. Again, TBD on how much of a crutch this will be in game, but I'll be giving it a try. Lastly, I selected Lightweight, which amplifies the impact of drinking too much alcohol and lowers the threshold to start feeling those effects. This perk gives you +2 and seems like an easy pick considering you can most likely just avoid alcohol unless you got some wacko forcing it down your throat. Okay, moving on to positive perks. My first selection was Astronomer. This costs 2 perk points and draws a compass on the screen at night when pressing the HUD prompt key. This is a perk that I know Fear didn't select for his character, and I felt one of us in our two-man squad needed to have it. For my second positive perk, I went with Herbalist. This also costs 2 perk points and gives your character the ability to identify poisonous berries and mushrooms. Like Astronomer, this is another perk I feel at least one person needs to run if you're playing in a squad. Next up, I went with Amateur Cook. This is a 4-cost perk and gives you a +25 boost to your cooking skill. Someone's got to cook the meals in the squad, so I feel like this is a solid choice. Lastly, I chose Metalworker. This boosts your lockpicking skills +25 and also costs 4 perk points. Lockpicking appears to be a huge part of looting in Dead Matter, so this was another choice I didn't have to think all that much about. So with everything selected, my character data is super well-rounded in my opinion, and that's definitely the kind of character build I was going for. None of my attribute stats changed, but those are already well-rounded to begin with, so I'm not worried about there being no changes there. Looking at skills though, my cooking was boosted from a 15 rating to 40 with the Amateur Chef perk, and lockpicking was boosted from a 5 rating to 30 with the Metalworker perk. Crafting, farming, mechanic, and medical all remained at their same ratings, but those are all 15 plus ratings, so I was happy with that. Now, for my well-rounded character, let's move on to Fear's build, which is a bit more specialized.
What's up, gang? So for my specialized build, the idea was to build something around stealth and looting. I wanted to be the first one in and the first one out. I wanted to be quick, quiet, and nimble on my feet. So for my occupation, I selected the police officer. Those starting attributes look like this. The agility is at 8, your charisma is at 2, your endurance is at 5, your intelligence is at 6, and your strength is at 7. For the starting skills, we're looking at cooking 5, crafting 5, farming 5, lockpicking 35, mechanic 15, and medical at 20. Benefits of this occupation is you spawn with a flashlight and a service pistol, but the downside is you start off with -4 perk points. I'm going to start off with my plus perk points, which will create some interesting problems for my character, but will leave room for some amazing passive abilities. Like Wheeler, I also chose peanut allergy. Seems like an easy +4 perk points, just make sure you have an epi pen on deck. I picked nerd, which is another +2 perk points. It lowers my strength by 2, but I'm not looking to get into many hand-to-hand combat situations. I also picked party boy, which is another +2 perk. This lowers my intelligence by 2. The next perk that I picked is awful cook. This is a +4 perk, which gives me a -25 cooking penalty. I also have osteoporosis, which is another +2 perk, which increases the amount of limb damage I take. My character has fearful as well. This again is another +2 perk, which increases the amount of suppression I take while under fire. I also have slow metabolism, which is another +2 perk, and this makes you metabolize food 50% more slowly. And for my last 2 positive perks, I have thin skinned, which allows my character to take 15% more damage from melee attacks, and lightweight. This lowers the threshold on how quickly I can get drunk, and to be honest, it probably makes me more fun at parties. Now to the fun stuff. Now for my negative perks, these will allow me to have some positive and useful passive abilities. I started off with runner. This makes my character gain 300 seconds of extra sprint time, and +1 agility will be extremely useful against running away from zombies and enemies alike. For my next perk, I've chosen Metalworker. This gives my character a huge +25 increase in lockpicking, bumping my lockpicking skill up to 60. I have also picked Silent Search. This makes looting 50% quieter while searching a container. I have also chose Nimble Fingers, a -4 perk, but allows me to search containers 50% faster. And lastly, I have Light Steps, which lowers the overall footstep volume by 30%. So all in all, my character attributes look like this. Agility 9, Charisma 2, Endurance 5, Intelligence 4, and Strength 5. My skills are Cooking 0, Crafting 5, Farming 5, Lockpicking 60, Mechanic 15, and Medical 20. Now this build might not be for everybody, but I kind of just wanted to build something that was central focused on one particular thing, and that's just like looting and agility. And we'll just see how long we can last. We're gonna make some tweaks on here. We can't talk about it. We can't talk about if it's gonna work or not because that's breaking NDA. But if you guys want to see more what kind of builds we can kind of create here on this app, be sure to let us know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Dead Matter comes out today, and as always, plan accordingly.